Welcome back to the channel. We got a very cool guitar here for you today. This is a Dean ML, as you can see, but this is a very cool one because it is the 30th anniversary Dean ML. So these came out in 2007, and that was obviously the 30th anniversary of Dean. Very cool guitar. They only made this trans black finish, which is actually, I'm not a huge fan of black, just plain black finishes. I kind of like this one. Not bad. I'm also not a huge fan of burst finishes, but again, this one works. For what it is, it works. These things are also huge. This is an enormous guitar, and that's just ML styles in general. They're just massive. I couldn't find anything about the pickups. They are just Dean pickups as far as I know. They're not anything special or signature or anything like that. It does have, if you can see it, I know it's extremely reflective, but you can kind of see it when it catches the light just right. That etched tailpiece there, the V-shaped tailpiece, is etched with a cool little filigree thing. And then each of the pickups actually have that 30th anniversary logo, which is also the 12th fret inlay. But very, very cool guitar. I like it for an ML. Not a big ML fan. Honestly, it's just too big. But we'll show it to you and play it a little bit. And it's a pretty cool guitar to play and kind of makes you feel like Dime a little bit. Speaking of which, we did string it up with some Dimebag Darrell signature, these 10 to 52 strings, which apparently I looked up, not the gauges he played. Oh well. I do like these DR tight fit strings. I actually used to use these like exclusively back in college. One interesting thing that I feel like I have to mention, and I'm sure it'll be backwards on there, but I'll flip the video around. It says, "Get ya a pull." That's not the phrase. That's, if you're going to do like Dimebag signature strings and you're going to put Dime on the string pack and everything, and you're going to have a whole quote from Dime on the back of the package, which is cool. I've been playing these strings of strength since 1995. I can literally hear his voice in my head saying that. Get the quote right. It's "getcha pull." It's like two words, getcha and pull. And you can see 1,000 videos online of Dime saying that phrase. It is never "get ya a pull." That's just, there's the extra A in there. Like, I opened these up and I never realized that, I guess, when I was playing these strings in college. And I opened that up and it's instantly just, whatever. Do better, DR. Anyways, one of the cool thing about this guitar, and I'm not 100% sure on all these details, maybe somebody can correct me in the comments or explain it a little better, but I think they only made 100 of these, which is pretty cool. But that said, I think they're all supposed to be signed by Dean Zelinsky, and this one is not. So I actually did a little bit of digging, not a whole lot, but a little bit of digging, and I found a couple photos of the signature on the back of a 30th anniversary, and it had the signature right at the top of the headstock on the back, and it also had the serial number, and I was wondering if maybe it was like a US version or something that was signed by Zelinsky, and you can see no signature back there. It's not. It is the Korean model, and I think all the 30th anniversary editions are Korean. I'm fairly positive. That said, every headstock that I could find for the 30th anniversary model is a Korean headstock, but then they all have US serial numbers. So it starts with US 07, because they're only made in 2007, of course. So I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know why. Maybe this one did have a signature at some point and it's come off. This is now, a fairly old guitar. The 40th anniversaries are out. Those came out in 2017, of course. This thing is actually, this particular model is so unplayed, it still has the plastic protectors on the cavity covers, which is kind of nuts. Obviously, it's a pretty expensive guitar to buy it at the time and then just not play it. And when I got it, when I picked it up in a trade, it's fairly dusty and a little dirty, but other than that, there's not a single bit of wear on any of these frets, so I don't think anybody really played it much at all. But got it cleaned up, didn't take much, got it playing really well. And today, instead of the Spark or the Katana, we're going to run through the Helix again because it has the Cowboys from DFW setting, which I believe is a Pantera setting. And one of the quirky things on this is it's 2 volumes and a tone. And that threw me off a little bit at first because you expect, like, not that. But it is volume for the neck, volume for the bridge, tone. So you can, when you're on the middle position, you can blend them. So, like, blend. But anyways, we're going to play on the bridge, playing metal stuff, and change it around. You can probably hear we're in drop D, so I figured I would start with the first Pantera riff that I ever learned back in college, probably shortly after I bought this badass Pantera shirt for like $10 at Best Buy, which is a weird place to buy a metal shirt. But I had my roommate taught me one Pantera riff. He was a huge Pantera fan and actually introduced me to Pantera. And I've been a huge fan ever since because every metal guitarist loves Dime. Just a hell of a personality and an insanely good guitarist. And I can barely play sober. I can't imagine him shredding that hard, not sober. But the first riff I ever learned, which is a classic of drop D that everybody pretty much learns at some point in their guitar journey. Classic riff, love it. But we'll go back to standard. I think we got there close or close enough, and play some other riffs. So. This one's actually my favorite Pantera riff to play. Very fun riff to play. And I gotta say, the neck on this is actually phenomenal. The neck, the fretwork, the fingerboard, all like A+. And especially for it being, a Korean model, the American serial number, but whatever. Really, really good. And Korean instruments are great. No disparagement there at all, obviously, but this is phenomenal. I mean, this thing is actually perfect. The frets are more my style, where they feel like they're a touch lower than your standard kind of jumbo frets. And the action, it's got a tune-o-matic bridge, so super easy to set up the action and everything. Extremely good, and just feels great. And now it's got that, painted and sealed and everything back of the neck, which I know some people don't like. I personally like it. And on a neck profile that's this thin, which is fairly thin, I don't know, I love it. It's great. But the frets just feel wonderful. And again, part of that is this fairly old guitar that has probably been played less than a couple hours. So I probably put 5 hours on it since I've gotten it, maybe 5 or 6. And before that, I would say, based on everything that I saw on the guitar, this thing maybe had 5 or 6 hours on it when I got it. Again, which is wild. Buy a pretty expensive, well-built quality instrument that you wanted, and then just don't play it. It's very odd to me. What are the riffs? Let's see. I'm not very great at that jump back and forth, but it's a fun riff. Classic, of course, on Walk. I actually haven't played that song myself in quite some time, other than just kind of running through it once or twice to prep for this video. But let me hit you on a clean channel, and we'll play a little Cemetery Gates, if I can remember that one. And there we go. Let's see how clean this is. That's not too bad. And I should have actually looked it up, because the part is, I don't even think Dime plays it. But we'll play it on the neck pickup, why not? And should have looked up to see if he plays it with pick or fingerstyle, but I prefer fingerstyle over everything, so. So, a bit too much going on there. Try that, just a little delay. Oh man, I suck at this song. Jesus Christ. Buzzing in the back there too. So we might as well give a shout out now to the guy who left a comment saying I should take a filmography class or something like that, which I would point you again to the name of this channel. The whole point is it's just how it is. There's no production value here. I film it on a $53 phone. Like, I spend more on strings every month than on my phone. And obviously we don't edit anything, but let's see, I know I can play that riff better. Well, apparently I was lying. Not bad there, but there you have it. That's the neck pickup, and we'll show you this is both together. Not a whole lot of difference there that I can tell. Very subtle difference between the combo and the neck. If any difference really at all. Bridge, much, much, much different, of course. Pretty short demo. Things I like about the guitar, it's cool. It has to do with Dime, which I always love. And honestly, just a really neat guitar, great neck. Always love block inlays. Really like the XXX inlay on the 12. That's pretty cool. The etched humbucker covers are really neat. Kind of disappointed that it wouldn't have like signature dime bag pickups, you'd think, like, obviously it's not a dime model, but who's the most famous player to have ever played a Dean ML? Obviously not going to have locking tuners because I don't think Dime ever played with locking tuners. I don't think they're really even popular before he died. Other than that, the only complaint I have on the guitar is the strap button placement. That drives me nuts when they're not on the same plane because it'll put a kink in your strap, and that just pisses me off. They could have just put it right here on the inside. That would have been fine in my opinion, but I didn't design the guitar. So let me know what you think about these things, or if you know anything else about them, things that I missed. I'm sure there's stuff on there that I don't know because there's kind of not a lot of information on these things. Not many of them out there. I only saw one other one for sale to give you an idea of what these things might actually run. I saw one that was in decent shape. The guy said it was dinged up pretty bad, but for $1,100, and yeah, that seemed a little bit pricey to me. I don't know, for $1,100. You could get a Gibson. You could get a nice guitar made in the USA for $100. And if anybody knows what it means to have a US serial number but also say Korea on it, I'd love to know if there's something there that I just don't know. But post that, what you think. If you own one of these, because they are pretty cool. And again, I love my boy. And just these strings, get ya a pull. Hell no. That's wild. Absolutely insane that they would do that. But again, I don't design any of this shit. Alright, we'll see you in the next one.